Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome, Warriors. Excited to have an awesome deep dive today. Shout out to Jess Partagas being the first one in the chat. Shout out to you, Wizard and Warrior. Let me adjust my mic here. Great to have you in the chat. Shout out to those of you watching the recording. Surprisingly, these lives are getting tons and tons of views after after the fact that I go live. So very interesting. I'm gonna try to maintain the entertainment here throughout the ups and downs as we wait for others to arrive to the live. Hope everyone's conquering the day on this final day in July, right before Infinite's third birthday tomorrow, August 1st. That's right. August 1st, 2021 is when we officially launched Infinite to the public. Is when we first opened up our website, accepted clients. And at the time, we were just doing one-on-one coaching online. We came such a long way this past 3 years. Plenty of ups, plenty of downs, plenty of improvements, plenty of impact and transformation, and much more. I'll dive a little bit into that at the end of today's live, because this live is specifically about our developer update. So I haven't done one of these in a long time. Let me actually go back here. Let me check on YouTube with the last time we did this, because this live could easily be 2+ hours. Simply because we've had the most updates in the past 3 to 6 months than we have had in the past 3 years since Infinite's existence. So incredible amount of updates and improvements, simply because we want to provide the best possible experience, right? And that's always going to evolve with every single warrior that plays Infinite, shares their feedback, gets awesome results. And we want that experience to get better and better and better, just like, what we are doing with all of our warriors, right? Transformation, progress, growth. We always say growth is infinite, right? That's one reason why we are called Infinite. There's, every chapter in your story is going to require a new, better version of yourself, which is why you have to kind of look at it as like an infinite game that you're playing, especially with health and fitness. Obviously there's the inevitable of you getting older, right? We have sarcopenia, which is natural degradation of our muscle tissue. So that's inevitable, right? And as we get older, our responsibilities change, right? Our mindset changes, and our environment and so much more. So we need to be ahead of that change, right? We need to drive change. And that's why, we say growth is infinite. Otherwise, you can be playing catch up, and you'll always feel like you're behind, and that's always not good either. So, but let me see when we last dropped the developer update, because this is important, because I don't want to go over old information. But it looks like the last time we did a developer update was all the way back 6 months ago. It was in January. So it's been quite some time since we did a developer update specifically. If you missed our past developer update, um, I'll drop a link in the chat if you want to check it out in the future. All right, I'll see you. See you soon, Jess Spartacus. But I'll drop a link in the chat here so you can check it out. 1 second, where'd it go? Here it is. There we go. So other than that, I have an echo here. Hold on, give me 1 second. Where is that coming from? Interesting. Here we go. Cool. So yeah, other than that, there's been a lot of changes since that developer update back in January. Lots of feedback and growth and just upgrades to the experience overall. And I think that's what made that developer update special, is because like that was like the first one, and then we haven't done one since January. So now it's end of July. We're going into August tomorrow. It's about time to really showcase all of the updates that we've had recently in the past 6 months here. It's a lot of awesomeness, and I definitely want to make sure everyone understands it and just gets excited about it, because I think that's the best thing, is that with these updates, it enhances the experience for all of the Warrior players inside Infinite. So if you're not familiar with Infinite, or you don't know what Infinite is, if this is your first time like tuning in, maybe you found this through the algorithms somehow, and you're like, fitness, fantasy, RPG, what is this? Essentially, Infinite is a fitness system that's designed around fantasy role-playing games. So we have a big fantasy role-playing game theme where we leverage gamification and gaming to drive and basically awaken and unleash the inner warrior that we believe every single person has. And this warrior aspect is a particular mindset. It's a mindset for growth. It's a mindset for mastery. It's a mindset for perseverance and much, much more. And we believe that's one of the keys to unlocking your health and fitness potential. And we access that via fantasy role-playing games by implementing game-like mechanics and systems and much, much more. And this is all deeply rooted in psychology and science. So nutritional science, training science, and lots of science. So yeah, this is just, I guess, a small introduction. So you don't have to be into fantasy role-playing games to benefit from Infinite. We're solving a universal issue of motivation and engagement, knowledge, accountability, and having structured programming for training, nutrition, and mindset. So of course, being into gaming and being into fantasy obviously will help you embody that warrior spirit a little bit better. But that's absolutely not a requirement. I've coached and mentored so many people in my 10 plus years of being a fitness professional that are not gamers, but it's just a huge plus if you are, because you're just going to gravitate towards everything that we do. It's going to be way more engaging, more exciting, way more familiar to you. So if you are a gamer, boom, this is the right place for you. If you're not, don't worry. This still can be the right place for you if you have that warrior mindset. And of course, Infinite is going to help you really maximize that and develop it to a whole new level when it comes to not just health and fitness, but your overall lifestyle. So all that being said, Shall we dive into all of the new updates here at Infinite? Let me know in the chat. Who's ready to chat about Infinite? Do 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 do. We got already in the chat. Cool. Well, let me swap my screen over. This is our website, infiniterpg.com. That's INFITNITE everything that we do at Infinite is essentially driven from this hub. So if you want to learn more about Infinite, if you want to, check out all of our different realms, which is our game modes. You want to learn more about myself, my team. You want to learn and educate yourself across all our different categories like physical combat, nutritional alchemy, and mental intellect. You can do that by going to our website and registering for bronze tier, which is a free tier, to get access to all of this stuff. So everything, at least on our website, you have access to with a bronze tier membership. So head over to our website if you want to check that out. And I'll drop a link in the chat as well if this is your first time checking us out. Pretty cool. Got a lot of really valuable information as far as things that I've taught, things that people have invested in, lots of awesome educational information to learn from and optimize your approach to training, nutrition, mindset, and much more. So check it out. But let's dive into our archives here. So let's head over to updates. So again, I'm not going to be diving deep, going all the way back to January, but I do want to mention and highlight a couple updates that have been very, very significant. So basically, the Gauntlet, which is currently now called the Dungeon, had a big update. And this is when we introduced our skill trees, which is was a really big change, but simply because we didn't really have a skill system in our mobile app and training experience. So if you don't know much about the Gauntlet or currently called Dungeon, basically it is where you can access a training program that you can select based on difficulty and your experience level, as well as your overall training goals. So this is essentially for the warrior who is pretty self-sufficient, they're self-accountable, and they can basically show up and generate the motivation and the discipline to show up to their training, and basically they just need the structure and the guidance. That's basically what it's for. And with that, it can be challenging for some people, right? If you don't have those foundational skill sets, it can be very, very difficult to follow through on a training program. One of the biggest reasons why people fail with their health and fitness is, number one, they don't have a structured training program. And this is one that actually follows principles of program design as far as volume, frequency, mesocycles, and all these different aspects. Most people just go to the gym and just do whatever they want, and they don't get too far. So that's number one. They are not following a training program. And number two, they can't actually complete and follow the training program to the best of their ability. We believe in the 80-20 rule. It's not about doing everything and striving for perfection. That's unattainable, and it's also unsustainable. So, that being said, people struggle with just following through. So, accountability is huge, right? Generating the motivation to show up to the gym, generating the discipline to continuously and repeatedly show up. So all of these factors come into play. So It's a little bit more difficult to just follow a training program, which unfortunately a lot of people think that's all they need to do. When in reality, the path forward is gaining the skill sets to improve in these particular areas, which is why we introduced the skill tree, which was huge back in March. This is something that we had exclusively in our one-on-one mentorship experience inside of our sanctum. And now we introduced it into our other realms, or basically our other game modes. So that was huge, huge, huge. Super huge. So if you want to dive deep into that, feel free to go into that. We did some class changes with the changing from the ninja to the rogue, which is our calisthenics-based class, which specializing in a lot of bodyweight training and bodyweight mastery. And then this is when we introduced all three of our realms. We changed the gauntlet to the dungeon and our mentorship experience to the sanctum. And then we kept the name of our academy. If you want to learn more about why we did that and what the symbolism is, feel free to dive into this article on May 6th called The New Realms of Infinite. And then we had the big kahuna, which is Infinite's Skill System 2.0. Now, a lot has changed since then. We actually pushed back a lot of our some of these updates in Skill System 2.0 simply because there's a lot that has changed, which you'll find out from just going all the way back to April here. So this skill system was primarily for our dungeon, which was previously our gauntlet. And this introduced new UI, different skills, different descriptions for your skills, introduced stats and attributes, and all of these different mechanics that you might be familiar inside of role-playing games like Diablo, World of Warcraft, any RPG. Stats and metrics are huge. They're massive in those experiences. So that's exactly what we were introducing for a select few skills inside the dungeon. But a lot has changed since April 18th. I mean, it's July 31st. And we didn't even get into the recent stuff yet. I say the last two announcements before we dive into the most recent ones in the past 3 months or so is we completely revamped our pricing and our customization for all of our game mode options at Infinite. This is honestly one of the biggest updates because this is the biggest update for the player as far as giving each warrior the option to customize their experience and personalize it based on the results that they want to achieve, how quickly they want to progress, so essentially their level up speed, as well as controlling their success rate as far as, what's the amount of risk that they're taking, right? Because there's no one on this planet that can guarantee results simply because health and fitness requires you to execute on a plan, right? Like I was sharing earlier, one of the reasons why most people fail is they can't execute on that plan. So that's important. Also the level of challenge as well. Challenge is one of the big things where it's like if it's too hard, people just give up. But if it's too easy, people get bored and they drop off. So we want to give our players, the option to choose, the best path forward that's going to challenge them at their level. Because at Infinite, we help people on all levels, not just beginners, but we've worked with professional athletes, we work with people who have 10 plus years experience, who are coaches, trainers, athletes, whatever that may be. So we have to make sure we are providing an experience that's going to challenge them at their right level so that they can grow. And then, of course, finances, right? That's super huge. Again, we've helped people across all walks of life, parents, CEOs, whatever that may be. We don't want people's financial situation to hold them back from getting the support that they need. So that was a huge change when it comes to giving people more flexible options to play Infinite and really opening that door to more people so that people can not only play and experience it, but also stick around so that they can actually get to their results for the long term, not just short term results. So I was super big. And in that process of introducing these customization options, we also introduced different tier options for one-on-one inside of our sanctum, which was huge. And then last but not least here, we have our new Earth muscle building mastery inside of our academy. Fun fact about our academy started off focusing purely on fat loss. So basically, this was our online video course experience where we first introduced the RPG mechanics of our experience point system, our level system as well, and even our unique ascension system, which basically allows you to earn a different form of experience points to kind of showcase your mastery of the programs inside of the academy. So this is a very, very unique experience that then now, at least on June 17th, expanded into a whole different mastery or fitness goal, which is muscle building. So this is really, really big because a lot of the people that I sat down with, all of them didn't have a fat loss goal. Some of them had a muscle building goal, right? Some of them just naturally have been skinny their whole entire life. So losing body fat wasn't really their primary fitness goal. And there's also so many benefits to building muscle as well. And it took some planning and some integration to really kind of make sure we do this right and we don't alienate the people who do want to focus on fat loss by introducing the muscle building mastery in a more streamlined way so that we can open up the academy for more people, because the more people that we help by providing the education, the support, and the guidance, and of course our unique systems and approaches, those are going to be the people who are going to thrive the most, right? And if we only help certain types of people with only one particular goal, we're limiting the amount of people that help more that are focused on maximizing building muscle and transforming their physique by enhancing their muscle mass and things like that for both men and women. But now let's get into the big updates in the past 2 months here. Let's dive in. So this was a huge one. June 27th, we introduced our new game app and fitness app. Super, super big. This was a massive value add for everyone at Infinite, but simply because if you were using our fitness app, you now had access to our game app, and if you were using our game app, you now have access to our fitness app. So if you want to dive deep into that experience, feel free to head over to our YouTube channel and check it out. And also, if you're watching this while you're here, definitely head below, subscribe, like the video. We're trying to grow our YouTube channel with more video content. So if you want to learn more about fitness and fantasy RPGs and the world that we developed at Infinite, then feel free to head over and hit that like and subscribe button. Anyways, this was a huge simply because the fitness app was our main hub for our one-on-one mentorship. So this was the core experience inside Infinite. And inside of Infinite, we are a fitness first kind of system, obviously, right? And I think one of the big things that makes us different than everyone else out there is that a lot of people focus more on the gaming aspects and not enough on the fitness aspects. There are these kind of gimmicky fitness apps out there, that try to incorporate gaming stuff with the fitness, but they don't do it effectively. And one way for us to really hone in on what makes Infinite special was through our fitness app. So I'm not going to dive super deep into the fitness app. Just know that this was our core experience even well before Infinite was created, even when I first started as an online coach back in 2016. And even before that, when I was designing my own app when I was in college. Um, so the fitness app, and that component is the rock. It's the center point, right? This fitness will always be first at Infinite. But not everyone had access to all of these features. Like I mentioned before, our online course inside of our academy was focused on our game app. So if I head over to our game app experience, this is where we had experience points, level progression, our ascension experience points that I mentioned before, and of course, most importantly, quests. Right? We can't have an RPG without quests, right? And getting rewarded for your efforts in the game, right? And I think that's one missing component, is that a lot of people are doing a lot of stuff with their health and fitness, but they don't know if they're making progress or not, right? Because not everything that you do is, rewarded the same. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who are either doing the same things that are ineffective, or aren't really focusing on the things that are maximizing their progress. So this was huge for everyone inside of our academy experience, and we wanted to bring that experience to everybody. So that's when we introduced our game app to everyone inside of Infinite, and it has been incredible since. So if you want to dive deeper into that and get some more additional context, feel free. Just know that since June 27th, it's been almost a month now. We've had so many people experience the game app. They're loving it. They're completing quests, and they're also integrating the other updates that I'm about to go over in a moment. And it's just been incredible to see a level of engagement that I haven't seen in a long time. I think that's the beauty of it, is that it's not only this cool thing, but it's effective, and it's helping people stay motivated, it's helping people stay engaged, and it's helping all of our warrior players get better immersed into the fitness experience inside of Infinite, because it's hard for some people to care and stay focused on health and fitness. It can be challenging, it can be confusing, it can be strenuous and difficult. Right? It can be all these different things. So the game app really kind of makes it more fun. It makes it more engaging and makes it more game-like. And it also rewards you and helps psychologically as far as, what drives motivation and consistency, which is dopamine. So you get that dopamine release, and it makes everything cool. In the chat, we had somebody say, "Oh yeah, like Wii Fit." I think as a game, it's not bad, but as an effective fitness solution, I don't think most people either gravitated towards that as an alternative solution to going to the gym, going outside, or doing other fitness activities. And I don't think it's an effective long-term solution, right? It's cool in the moment, right? In the short term, like it's fun. Like I even did Wii Fit because I was like, oh wow, this fitness and gaming, like, wow, this is different, this is new, right? It's still not a popular thing yet. Hopefully with Infinite we can make that more popular. But yeah, there was definitely, from a design perspective, it wasn't designed as a long-term solution, and it also didn't accommodate to everyone's goals, right? Because Wii Fit didn't technically help you with building strength, muscle mass, and teach you nutrition. It didn't. It tried to have the gaming aspects in there, but it just again didn't gravitate with everybody. And you also needed to have a Wii in order to play it, which alienated a lot of people because the Wii sucked. A lot of people did not buy the Wii. I did, and I was very disappointed. It was very gimmicky. It was this new thing, and Nintendo took a chance with the Wii, and it just did not pan out. It was financially okay, right? I think they sold enough to at least make their money back, but they completely bombed with the Wii U, and and that's history. But yeah, totally get it. Wii Fit was like one of those examples of focusing too much on the gaming and not enough on the fitness part. And I would even also say Pokemon Go is another example. I think it was great to get people active outside, moving their body while playing a video game, or basically an augmented reality game, essentially. That's what it is. However, it just didn't cover all the facets of health and fitness, right? It's not just about moving your body. It's an important component for people who aren't doing that. However, again, it's not covering every aspect holistically, especially like we do at Infinite, covering the physical components, mental, and nutritional aspects all in one experience. So, yeah, thanks for bringing that up as a great example of what I was sharing. But let's head over to the other updates here. So we got about 5 updates since then. So many updates. So as you can see, just from a timeline standpoint, we had an update in January, then in March, 3 updates in March, then May, then April. See how this time gap here, right? May, then a couple updates in May, couple updates in June, and then July. We had the most updates just in 1 month, 5. So big thing is we opened up our academy for admissions. Also too, we opened up dropped some new gear. We haven't dropped the gear in a long time. I think we haven't dropped gear since, oh my god, what was this, April 3rd 2023. Insane. So long time. Again, all this information is linked on our website if you want to check it out. But we had some significant updates with our game app experience, starting with combat missions. This was huge. And this also fed into our tournaments, which I'll get to right after missions, which is the second big thing that we introduced for the month of July. But combat missions essentially are particular objectives that you can complete inside the game app that challenge your abilities and just basically introduce you to a lot of the functionality inside of our fitness app, to track your workouts, record your data, and complete your combat skills, and just basically keep you engaged while also gaining experience points in the process. And it was a massive update to the overall day-to-day experience inside of Infinite. And I could go super deep into why we did it, how we do it, and all these different things, but just know that from an engagement standpoint, we have our 2 apps, our game app and fitness app, and the biggest question that we had to answer was, how do we integrate both of these experiences, right? How do we connect both of these experiences? Because we don't want the fitness and gaming apps to be separate experiences, because then 9 times out of 10, people are just going to use one app or the other. And that's not what we're trying to do here at Infinite, right? We want to intertwine the fitness and gaming worlds together. And of course, having two separate apps is difficult, right? When we're doing that. And one day we're gonna have one app. And we reduced significantly. We used to use multiple different apps for different purposes. Previously, we used MyFitnessPal for nutrition tracking. We've used other training applications for tracking workouts. We've even experimented with doing the gaming aspects inside of a note-taking software called Notion. We used a lot of different types of apps, including course apps and all these different things. So the fact that we were able to boil everyone's experience across all of our game modes in Infinite into just two apps is awesome. And also the fact that we're able to update all of these apps for everybody, and so everybody's experience is changing with every single update that we release simultaneously, so people don't have to wait for updates or anything like that, is also a huge, massive change that we had in the past month or so. So yeah, pretty significant. There are so many things that we have as far as challenge types, different types of challenges like recording body stats, completing a dynamic warm-up, completing a conditioning quest, leveling up a combat skill, hitting your step count goal, and much, much more. This is just a taste of just some of the types of missions that we have in Chapter 1. So, spoiler, if you're here with me live, we got multiple chapters. Oh, I'm just checking out the chat right now. Jess Spartacus, Pokemon Go, don't get me started, bro. Yeah, I actually, I just downloaded Pokemon Go, actually. And I think I'm like level 11. Because I just wanted to see the gameplay loop. I just wanted to, like, just kind of see what the hype is. See the UI, see the gameplay mechanics, and, see the limitations. And I have to say, like, functionality-wise, we are, I mean, despite the millions and millions of dollars I poured into that software, it's I thought it was going to be more impressive, to be honest. I think the UI is a little cheap for, I don't know. I felt like it should be way more higher quality, like an actual day in and day out Pokemon game, in my opinion. Perhaps they were limited because it was a mobile game, right? They don't have the software, and I think at the time, just people didn't really. When did it come out? Like, it got popular in 2020, I believe. But I think it was out 2017 or something like that, 2018. So people's phones weren't really up to date, so they couldn't really get super high definition assets and stuff in their app. And I'm surprised it hasn't updated. Honestly, 2024. And it kind of looks like a 2017 mobile game, and that's just aesthetics, right? Functionality wise, I mean, they got the core loop down. They had millions and millions and millions of people catching Pokemon, going outside, walking miles. So even till this day, so clearly it's not just about aesthetics, right? It's about the experience and things like that. And I'm totally with you. I should have played. And hey, now I'm experimenting and playing now. Trying it out. Pretty pretty generic gameplay loop. I honestly would prefer actually playing a Pokemon game, not like a move around mobile game, but that's just me. Anyway, so that's combat missions, and equally as important here, literally less than 7 days, actually exactly 9 days later, we dropped alchemy missions. Now this is going over the nutritional aspect as well, so it's the nutritional version of combat missions, and we basically again integrate the game app and the fitness app experience and connect missions with basically all the things that you could do to stay on top of your nutrition, like logging meals, hitting your goals for calories, protein, carbs, and fats. Adding photos, adding descriptions, creating custom meals, copying meals, logging food, logging supplements, in all kinds of different things, leveling up alchemy skills, and much, much more. So, again, this is part of the day-to-day gameplay loop here, which is a game changer, right? Because a lot of people, they kind of know what to do in a way, but they don't know how to focus on the right things at the right time, right? And a lot of this integration of making progress on the day-to-day basis, like we say, is conquer the day, is implementation, focus, attention, and all these different things. And engagement is so important, right? If no one, I don't think, unless you're a chef or you're someone who likes to cook, a lot of people don't like the process of cooking, right? So they don't even start it. But now if it's a mission to, log a meal, and your coach or whatever is going to look at the meal that you're going to log, you're going to be less inclined to go to Burger King or Taco Bell or order fast food, right? You're going to make your own food. So now you have an incentive to not only make your own food, but to also log your meal and get rewarded inside of the game app by gaining XP. So you're now doing something with more purpose, and you're creating intention with your activities that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, while also challenging yourself, which is huge, right? It's the challenge aspect that I think a lot of people are missing in the gaming experience, right? And or at least that's the aspect that people gravitate towards, right? But that's what's missing in the fitness aspect, right? People don't know how to challenge themselves effectively. They don't know how to stay engaged and focused on the right things, right? And all the other reasons why I shared earlier. So that was one of the big reasons why we wanted to come out with Alchemy Missions. And this inside of the game app was game changing. Hands down, game changing. And in a moment, I'll actually dive into what that experience is like once I go into the most recent update to finish things off, as far as the updates, the huge updates, which was intellect missions. Now, intellect missions, just like combat and alchemy missions, are all about mindset. It's about habit formation, communication, and all the different aspects of intellect that most people don't focus on. A lot of people think intellect is knowledge. It's about gaining knowledge or learning. And yes, those are important aspects of what we call as mental intellect inside of Infinite. However, it's much more than that. It's more about implementation of your knowledge, right? And some of the ways that we kind of briefly go over is, number one, our skill system, right? Completing your skills, staying focused on completing skills long enough and repeatedly enough for you to actually develop it into a valuable skill that's going to help with your progress and your results, right? So essentially, skills are like habits, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, or things that are part or integrated into your lifestyle. And this is where intellect missions kind of come into play, as far as supporting those healthy habits that are going to drive growth for you in the long term. And some of the ways that we incorporate that inside of our missions are logging into the fitness app, right? Just the simple act of using an app throughout the day is powerful, right? Imagine how much more progress you could make instead of logging into Twitter or Facebook over and over and over again. You are instead allocating that energy to the fitness app, so that you know what you can do, to check stuff off, and you put your focus and your energy into your health and fitness goals. Game changing. absolutely game changing. And then other things like, interacting, communication, being part of our community, sharing, engaging, interacting with other people, and most importantly, asking questions. It's huge, huge. So those are just some of the intellect missions that we have. And just know that this is just the introduction of missions that we just had. In literally 11 days, we introduced 3 huge, huge gaming aspects to the game app in the form of missions, which is pretty impressive if I do say so myself, since I barely slept. Well, man, I slept a good amount, but my sleep schedule is rocked because I wanted to get these updates out before our big 4.0 update coming in August for our third anniversary or our third birthday at Infinite. So I really wanted to put that out there as soon as possible. So those are the updates. Again, I didn't want to go super deep into each one of these aspects. Again, I could just talk about missions for an hour. I wanted to just introduce all of these updates, at least the significant ones, from basically going all the way back to January until now, and basically highlighting the most impactful recently. So what do you think about all these updates? Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the chat. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the chat. Oh yeah, let me also go over the next update, which was tournaments. So if I scroll down here in our Facebook group, and I'll actually drop a link if you want to join our community on Facebook. Just dropped it in the chat right there. We introduced tournaments. So, man, I was really surprised, really surprised how successful this was for improving the engagement of everybody inside of our fitness app. So this was huge because at the end of the day, the fitness app is going to be the main place where people drive results, because this is where you do your workouts. It's where you track your nutrition. It's where you track your skills and upgrade your skills. So this was the main thing and something that I found in my decade plus experience coaching in general is that the people that use the apps more end up actually getting better results. So it's the people who log into the app once, twice, maybe 3 times a day. They actually get less results than the people who are logging into the fitness app dozens of times a day. They check things off, check their goals, communicate with their wizard, whatever that may be. Just the fact that they're using the app more often just means that they are focused, they're driven, and they are just way more intentional with their actions, which was huge. But with the introduction of tournaments, man, I saw a level of engagement that I haven't seen in a long time. Simply because in order to earn points in our tournament, at least our first tournament for the month of July here, you basically had to either complete a workout or hit a PR. And Jasper says he likes all of the all of the updates. And of course, the experience when it comes to the coaching experience also has improved too with the tournaments as well. But it's the personal records that net you the most points here. And I have to say, I was very surprised seeing epic comebacks, seeing a lot of people uh, move up in the leaderboards fast. Because now, instead of them just going through the motions in their workout, now they're trying to push themselves. Now they're trying to hit that PR. Now they're trying to get 5 pounds, at least 5, 10 pounds more than last time. Now they're trying to get all the extra repetitions, getting those extra reps in that they probably wouldn't have gotten if they didn't have something to push themselves. And this is friendly competition, right? It's not about you know you know making the experience I guess too intense. Like it was like fun. Like it was fun to actually challenge yourself in a different way. Because at the end of the day, everyone's got their own particular goals. It's just a matter of showcasing your progress. And in a way, this tournament and all of the future tournaments are just a way for you to kind of have a reflection point of the progress that you made for the month, right? And then have that fun competitive component so to compare that progress with other people, and of course there's some people who don't like competing, don't like tournaments and stuff like that, but I would argue that even by just participating and trying to compete with other people is enough to drive significant amount of growth, like significant. And that's the power of tournaments. And shout out to Warrior Fenris, Warrior Mark, and Warrior Jess Particus, who's live. Shout out to you guys because, yeah, you guys placed in the top 3, and you guys, pushed through, and really turned this into a permanent thing. So that's tournaments. And tournaments are going to be different every single month. And I'm sure there are some people in the chat that are wondering, what's going to happen with tournaments? What's the tournament going to be for the month of August? I know just Spartacus is, as he says, started from the bottom and made the top 3. Anyone can do it. Yep. He. I don't think he's participated until like week 2, second week of the month. So, and this is a monthly challenge. But if you're wondering what the next challenge is going to be for the month of August, we are bringing back the combat challenge with a twist. So combat challenge is coming back. So if you enjoyed the workout component of it involved in the challenge, especially the personal record aspect, trying to hit your PRs and your workouts, then you're gonna love this challenge. The only twist for the month of August is that we are having 2 separate combat challenges, and they are going to be separated by warrior men and warrior women. So the women are going to be competing with each other, and the men are going to be competing with each other. We're going to level out the playing field a little bit so we don't have the men trying to take the top spots. We want the women to shine as well. We want the women to compete with other warriors who are on their level as well. So we're going to have 2 separate tournaments simultaneously, one for warrior men, one for warrior women. So it's going to be a little bit more smaller for the tournament, but we'll at least have a little bit more of a level playing field. Also, the point system is going to change as well, but I'm not going to spoil that. So we're going to make sure we don't we have a level playing field and it's balanced, because it was a little imbalanced on purpose, because first tournament I was like, let's go crazy. and it ended up being wildly successful. So it's just going to get better. It's just going to get better as we move forward. So that's tournaments. Yeah, this is going to be great for warriors like Brandy, new warriors. Shout out to Warrior Brandy, new warrior inside of Jasparticus's Sanctum. It's going to be fun for the ladies and the fellas. Going to be fun. So that's going to be starting tomorrow, August 1st, which is our 3rd birthday. So I'm going to finish this live to share a little bit about Infitnite in the past 3 years. I did write something. I'm going to share it with everybody in our newsletter, on our website, and on socials as well. But just something that I want to share, on behalf of my team at Infitnite, all the warriors that we've been able to help on our journey up to this point in the past 3 years. Even the people who, were super interested in what we were doing at Infitnite, but just maybe didn't take that leap or jump, but just even took the time to even, look into what we're doing and just care enough to, consider us as an option for their health and fitness solution. I just want to thank all of you people, all of you warriors, Infitnite warriors, my team, those of you that looked at what we were doing, because, it's very validating to know that not only what we're doing is impacting people's lives, but also what we're doing is unique, is different, and it's actually having an impact on people. And it's very validating to have the eyes, the dialogue, hearing the comments. I rarely heard anything bad. It's just really, really incredible to have that, especially for the past 3 years. And having 3 years of that is just incredible, especially for those of you who have put their trust in us, in the form of, dollars, energy, sweat, pain in some circumstances, right? All of you people, all of these people are the reason why we're here till this day. 3 years later, there's a reason why we've been here for 3 years, and have not let up off the gas. Like I mentioned before, we had the most updates in the past 6 months than we've had in the past 3 years. So it's been such an incredible journey so far, and there's still so much more that we can do. There's still so many more people that we can impact, and I just want to take the time to, thank everybody for letting this dream not only come true, but truly impact people's lives. And I'm excited for the next year to go down this path and help more people. That's going to be our goal, is to now take all these updates, right? Take all this feedback and improvements and put it out there for people to experience. And I think something that we've set up was to have that barrier of entry for everybody to just try out Infitnite and experience it, is at such a whole new level right now, with all the changes and improvements that we've made to our pricing, our customization, the gaming experience, the fitness experience, and so much more. So I'm excited to help more people. And if you want to experience Infitnite for yourself, I know that there's some aspect of Infitnite that is going to have a positive impact on your health and fitness lifestyle. Feel free to head over to our website, infitniterpg.com. That's INFITNITERPG.com. Feel free to join Bronze Tier for free. Dive into all of our free education, or feel free to customize your own plan by selecting one of our 3 game modes, which is the Sanctum, Academy, or the Dungeon. Feel free to dive into each one of these unique experiences to see which path is the best fit for you, your current skill sets, your long-term goals, and much more. And that's really about it for this live. So went over a ton of different updates, dove in, wanted to celebrate or pre-celebrate our 3-year birthday here. Excited to do a lot more of these as well, if people want it. Still gonna stay on top of the video content, of course, because I think that's the best way to showcase Infinite, as an RPG. But all that being said, thank you all for showing up in the chat. Means a lot to me. Thank you for watching. If you are watching this replay of this live here, love to have you live. We go live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So if you want to tune in live, ask some questions. Always love engaging and interacting. Those of you in the chat, also would love to have you live. So if you want to do that, that's where you'll find us. And other than that, this is Master Wizard Walt, the founder, lead designer, and guide for all of you warriors inside the fitness fantasy RPG Infinite. Excited for the next year. Do something active on August 1st. Embody that warrior spirit on August 1st. And I'll see you next week during our next Warrior Wednesday. Warrior Wisdom Wednesday, I think, is what we're going to call it. I don't know. The triple dub Warrior Wisdom Wednesday. See you next Wednesday, y'all. Thanks for tuning in live. See ya.